Hi, welcome back to GP Reactions. Hope you're good. Thank you for subscribing. So I'm going to continue with the second part of the sort of a melody of Genesis from the Duke tour at Lyceum Ballroom. And I've just listened to Behind the Lines and I kind of really enjoyed this live version of that. And I kind of felt that although it was written by Mike Rutherford and Phil Collins, that I kind of got the impression as it was about Phil Collins and relationships. So we're looking forward to the Duchess and see how these songs kind of like join together. And we'll kind of like sort of see where that sort of takes us really. So without further ado, this is Duchess. So just to say, I can't remember what this is called. I vaguely recall my brother referring to it as like a drum machine or something. There may be a more technical name for it. But I'm kind of liking it. It feels very, very calm, and it feels like a calm transition into maybe before the storm of what comes next. So just going to pause it there. I think this second part, the Duchess has a different kind of feel to it than the Behind the Lines. So although they're kind of like sort of connected by the music, I don't think they're connected necessarily exactly through story. And my interpretation so far is that this is about somebody who's on the road to fame, and the one line that's just kind of like jumped out at me was, and on the road where all but a few fall by the wayside on a grassy verge, she battled through against the others in her world, and the sleep and the odds. So she's kind of like really trying to kind of make her way in the music industry. That does seem to be like a definite part of this particular story. I'm not sure whether it's related to Behind the Lines though. So I'm just going to like knock it back a couple of seconds and carry on. So this section now is she's just found fame, and she's at the like peak of her musical powers, and she can't do any wrong, and everybody loves her, and she's only got to take to the stage, and everybody's cheering. So she's gone from being on the road and struggling to make it in the music industry. She's now made it in the music industry, and she's at the top of her game. So that's a little bit sad. So basically, her fame is starting to kind of diminish now, and people are starting to kind of let her know that, you know, they're not so impressed with how she sounds, how she looks, perhaps. And I think, you know, like with fame, it comes with the whole other baggage. I suppose more kind of modern times, I guess, in that once you become famous, every little aspect of your life is scrutinised, and people start to kind of then judge you by what you might say away from your profession. So, you know, if you kind of go onto Twitter, onto Facebook, you go onto social media, you give your thoughts, maybe on subjects which aren't necessarily connected with how you make your living, and perhaps you kind of promote stuff, and people have their own sort of standards and morals of how they believe other people should act, and they kind of start to judge you by that, and they might be your fans as well. Fame does have like a shelf life. Unless you're very, very lucky, and you kind of can evolve from that. But even if fame ends, it doesn't mean you can't necessarily evolve as a person. I think you can actually evolve beyond being famous. There's been plenty of people who've had their moment in limelight, and they've kind of like rediscovered themselves, redefined themselves, and basically reinvented themselves, and that's how you evolve. I sometimes feel very sad when I see, especially I suppose it's music really, performers who are still trying to do the same thing 20, 30 years after it was kind of hip and cool to be doing what they were doing. And I kind of think, I just wish you'd maybe kind of evolved, maybe in your profession, or I don't know. It's just, I get a sadness with that. So yeah, this I think is Duchess, and it's done. And so now on to kind of guide vocals, and I'm going to let this play because that was quite short, and we'll see where this takes us.
Guided you this far. All you know and all you feel. Nobody must know my name, for nobody would understand. And you kill what you feel. I call you, for I'm asleep. You're on your own until the end. There was a choice, but now it's gone. I said you wouldn't understand. Take what's yours, be damned. All right. Don't go mad.
So that was a segment from Genesis. That was the Duchess, and followed by guide vocals, and previous to that was Behind the Lines, which I've kind of split these into two sections really, just to try and get them to get them to kind of fit onto YouTube. I kind of sometimes find that it's going to take hours to upload otherwise, and I felt that the first section, Behind the Lines, was a lot bigger. So I just kind of wanted to let that sit out there by itself. But listen to Duchess, which was written by Tony Banks and Mike Rutherford. It kind of had a different feel to it. Behind the Lines felt definitely that it was either about a relationship with God or faith, or it was a relationship maybe to do with Phil. Now, Phil Collins wrote Behind the Lines along with Mike Rutherford, and I did feel that that was about maybe alluding to his relationship issues. Whereas like Duchess kind of felt like it was a story of fame, and that was written by Tony Banks and Mike Rutherford. I loved the power that kind of Phil lent to that track, and I think he's got like that energy that kind of just kind of screams out these storylines. I was halfway through. I was thinking, I wonder what Peter Gabriel would have sounded like singing this. I'm not sure it would have had the same impact. Because I think you kind of need that raw emotion sometimes with these kinds of songs, and I think lyrically wise they were kind of less theatrical, more relationship based. There was a relationship in the Behind Lines, a relationship with the fans in Duchess, and yeah. So guide vocals, I think they all. I'm not sure, but I think they all may have wrote that. And guide vocals has a different kind of feel about it, and it sort of encapsulates the previous two tracks. Again, looking at the lyrics, I am the one who guided you this far. All you know and all you feel, nobody must know my name, for nobody would understand, and you kill what you fear. So we're either kind of talking about God or a mentor of some kind, somebody that helped the Duchess get to where she was, the quiet person in the background. And a lot of the time it's a person that kind of gives us strength to do what we need to do, and we often hurt the people closest to us. I guess that, and you kill what you fear, I guess that's what it means. And sometimes we bite the hand that fed us as well, which is an expression. And yeah, I think this is like it's quite a lament. It's very reflective on the life of the previous two tracks. I call you for I must leave. You're on your own until the end. There was a choice, but now it's gone. I said you wouldn't understand. Take what's yours and be damned. If you kind of reject love and understanding, and you reject those that kind of help you, at some point you're kind of going to find yourself on your own. But also I kind of feel this is maybe an end of life lyric. There was a choice, but now it's gone. I said you wouldn't understand. So maybe we were talking about judgment, heavenly judgment, perhaps. I said you wouldn't understand. Take what's yours and be damned. So if we're kind of talking about heavenly judgment, and maybe we're talking about if you don't kind of accept God, then you're damned for all eternity. That could be what it means. Or it just could just be like a relationship between a manager, a mentor, and a singer. He tried to guide her. She rejected him. She took on Svengalis or something who were there just to kind of milk her fame, and she refused to listen and understand. And when it came back to sort of saying, you know, I kind of need your help, the mentor maybe kind of felt, well, you know what, you've rejected me enough. Just go. Take what's yours. Be damned. It's no concern of mine anymore. So yeah, in a way, the three songs, although I think they're written by different members of the band, they kind of sort of come together, which is why I can understand why Genesis put the three songs together in a kind of a melody. And the transition was it was a nice transition. I think if they'd just gone from like Behind the Lines, boop, straight into Duchess, I don't think that would have kind of worked. The guide vocals, like kind of trailing off, was like really beautiful piece of music, and the lyrics as well. And And yeah, with Phil Collins, he can really kind of belt out the emotion of a song and the energy of a song, but he's also got a very, very gentle voice as well. And I think that kind of goes back to some of the tracks, probably going back to earlier albums where Peter Gabriel was the lead vocalist. So you know what, guys, I really kind of enjoyed all three of these tracks, and I'm sorry I had to kind of split them up. If it's feasible, I'll join them together. If not, then they will stay as they were, and I think just as maybe enjoyable to kind of digest. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the music. The quality of this video is fantastic. It was taken from the old grey whistle test, which was introduced by Annie Nightingale, and that was from like 1980. And I have to be honest, I think my brother actually recorded this on VHS back in about 1982. So yeah, if you've got any thoughts about this, please join me in the comments below. And as always, I look forward to kind of reading your comments, and I try to reply to as many as I can. Some of them like slip through the net, and I'm always up for suggestions for music to listen to. Somebody suggested Firth of Fifth. Once I'm done with this concert, then I will kind of maybe start to kind of reach back a bit more. I might like hop into other tracks as I'm going along as well. But I've really enjoyed this Duke tour, and for some of the tracks I have heard them before, and I've heard snippets of Behind the Lines before, and I kind of seem to vaguely remember Duchess as well, so I kind of really enjoying this stuff. So yeah, till next time, take care of yourselves, and I will catch you all soon with the next instalment from the Duke tour.